Okay, here we are.
Yes.
Nazrul, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Michele?
I'm good. It's so nice to reconnect with you in this in this way. I hope you've been fine. I'm so glad to talk to you. Nasrul, this is just like a series of, I had always a passion for like creating media content in the past about the country that I would visit, or interviewing people that I would meet in my traveling around the world. But I left that aside for a few years because I was really focused with the career and everything. So now that I have a bit more of time, I would like to start to do that again. And I'm like conducting a series of very brief interview with some very interesting people I've met in my in my in my traveling around the world, and people that I have
our professional career, yeah.
and people that I think they have very interesting stories and things to say. So it's a very informal chat. You can say whatever you want. Like the only thing is like, let's not mention any name of organization, so we don't have to abide by any like code of communication or anything. So we can just like talk freely about whatever we want. You've been traveling, you told me, in the past weeks. Yeah, you've been traveling a lot. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, I was saying that.
Also, so right this moment, I'm working in Dhaka, the capital city of Bangladesh. So previously, I worked with in Cox's Bazar in another organization. So from capital city, as because most of the development sector, most of the program are not actually in capital city. Most of the area is like rural area. So as because you are working for people's development, their livelihood and other things. So there is some area that is like compared to the capital city, that is like poor areas. So our target area is there, that region. So most of the time I'm traveling from capital cities to another districts of Bangladesh. So that is why I started saying that I is traveling from another district to Dhaka. Yes.
So you have the chance to travel all around Bangladesh. What are you up to these days, Nasrul? What are you doing? What kind of project are you overseeing?
Actually, now I am overseeing a project which is called like the trafficking in person projects. So
Right.
I don't like to say the donor name or organization name, but it's like yeah. So it's like a trafficking in persons project. Actually, we are working for trafficking victims and survivor. We are working in around 20 districts in Bangladesh out of 64 districts. But through the referral mechanism and referral systems, we also working in like more than 20 districts. So in 20 districts, we have around 12 local partner. Partner means we called here in sub-grantees, who basically we receive fund from a donor, and then we have some sub-grantees. We also provide fund to them to implement our projects in the deep root area of Bangladesh, so that actually their access and their capacity and their ability in the rural area is stronger than us. So basically they are implementing our projects in like 20 districts. So this project actually I'm the leading I lead for a component. It's called protections. So there is like in child protections, here protection means prevention and protections both, but in trafficking projects prevention is another component. So in like most of the trafficking project, basically they follow 4P. It called four P's. First piece is like prevention, then protection, prosecution, and partnerships. So basically, I'm overseeing the protection component of these projects.
Thank you, Nasrul. And I mean, Bangladesh is such a vast territory, such a vast country. So I guess it's a very ambitious project, reaching into like 20 different districts of such a vast and huge country. You mentioned about trafficking. I mean, maybe the people who are listening to us or will listen to us, they are not very familiar with protection work. So, I mean, trafficking means that you basically like provide support, or you raise the awareness in the community about the risk of trafficking. And when we say trafficking, we meant when a person may fall into a net of exploitation, might fall into the wrong hands of people and might be exploited, exploited for with work,
Yeah.
or might be also the worst form of exploitation, which is like a sexual exploitation. These are children and adults who from day to evening they just like disappear because they are looking, maybe sometimes they fall into this criminal net because they are looking for better opportunity in other area of the country or in other neighboring country, and they fall because they don't have the information. They are vulnerable. They might fall into the hands of criminal, which they offer them easy solution for their problem, where in reality is just like a exploitation, like a system to keep them exploited. Is this really a problem in Bangladesh, Nasrul?
Yeah, it's like, in the world, this is a third big illegal business in the world. So it's a big problem of Bangladesh because the most of the country like Bangladesh, the developing country, the people, they are a hope, they are a dream for a better life. So when people dreaming for a better life, for a better jobs, then they would like to go abroad or any other countries where they get a very smart salary that will be helpful for them for their better life. So this is like a leverage point for a people. This is like a touchy point when the perpetrator, when the criminal they come into and they said, okay, you have better life in America, you have USA and the Middle East and the other country or other countries. So they fall into trap. Okay, they fall into trap for a better life. They move from Bangladesh to other country and they are like the victim of trafficking. Sometimes it's like happen, there is a specific difference between trafficking and it's the smuggling, human smuggling also another things. But in trafficking, if you would like to know actually what is trafficking in globally, trafficking, if you would like to understand the trafficking, you have know three things. Like it's called AMP model. AMP, act means purpose. So the act will be like the people or the children or whatever else, he or she should be transferred from one area to another area. Like it could be in the country, it could be within the city, and or it could be like one country to the from one country to another country. And means could be like they give you the false commitments, like they give you the different kind of like hope, and that's all are wrong. That is like means. In what means actually they motivated you to go abroad or go other area, and that is like means. And the purpose is, ultimate purpose is like abuse, like abuse, like you already mentioned that, like they like sexual activities and the physical labor, and they also engage in many things. Sometimes they also use for the medical purpose, like body organ, they sell their body organ. These kind of things actually happening. So in trafficking, at the end of the time, when you can't like understand that there is, if there is no abuse, if there is no what it called, like if there is no benefit from the traffickers, then it could not be like trafficking, it could be smuggling. But when the trafficking issue, it should manage the three, it should follow the three things. Purpose should be abuse. So this is the actually things. And in Bangladesh, in this project, we basically not only creating awareness. So I see that I oversee the production component. There is other four component: prevention, we have the many awareness activities with government, with local people, with local government, and the at-risk people who would like to visit other country, who would like to go any other area for their better job. So would like to, we actually conducted various sessions for create awareness. And in my component, it's protections when a person fall into a victim. When a person identified as a victim, from then my protection activities is started. So if like any of our Bangladeshi nationals who are trafficked in other country, so from when we got the news, from that time we actually started our protection activities, like to rescue and repatriation. This kind of support we also provide with align with the government. And when they come to Bangladesh, as because when a person is trafficked, his or her beliefs to the people is totally like downgraded. So they can't believe him. They wouldn't like to believe anyone, even their very close relative. They also wouldn't like to believe them, because basically the trafficker, most of the case trafficker is very close to them. Some of them they are relative and other things, so they just lose their trust in that area. Protection, we from the protection component, we help them, like we have trauma counseling, we have basic counseling, we have different kind of life skills training for them. And our activities is like in protection, from the identification to
I think we
meeting
are.
with their other things.
No, please go ahead. You are the communication is
Identification, then need based support, get into again into the society. That is it. And prosecution, we provided legal from the legal aids, legal support, and through partnership, as because it's like a huge activities. It is not possible to manage by one projects or one components. uh, Mikela, do you hear me? I see like something is problem with internet.
No. Now I can hear you very well. I
So actually
heard
it's
almost
happening.
everything.
And from partnership, we partnering with many organizations, like government organization and the private organizations, and seek support from them. So in a holistic way, we also ensure support from different stakeholders to ensure their reintegration in the society. Michele, it's clear. Do you hear me?
It's very clear,
Yeah.
Nasrul. Thank you very much. Basically, like it's a 360 degrees project. You cover everything from like preparing and raising the awareness about the risk of trafficking in the community to actually taking action and rescuing the people, providing counseling to survivor of trafficking when you are able to identify a person who might have fell into the hands of this criminal net. Nasrul, one question that I have: the survivor of or the victim of this like trafficking network, where normally they, and I guess they ended up far away from their city, where they ended up abroad in neighboring country, or also in I don't know, in the capital city in Dhaka. Where they are brought once they are when they are like exploited?
Michele, can you repeat your last question? I'm sorry. It's like internet
Yeah,
problem. Just last question.
can you hear me clearly now, Nasrul? Yeah. We have a bit of problem with
Yeah.
the internet.
Now I'm hearing you.
Yeah, so there is a bit of
Yes. It's
lag. No,
very
my
common in
question was
Bangladesh.
where. I know. I kind of remember when I was there.
You were there, yeah.
No, I was asking like the victims of this trafficking net, where they are brought to be exploited in neighboring country or even within Dhaka. They are brought in Dhaka to be exploited.
No. It's so there is there is now internal trafficking, and most of the people, the traffic from Bangladesh to Middle East country like
Right.
Jordan, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, this kind of area. And if you, so most of the area is like in this area, like a housemaid people, women are from Bangladesh, they are going there as a housemaid and they're trafficked. Okay, so we
Yeah,
also
makes sense.
we also conduct many interview with them. We found that like they are just contacted for 8 hours job, but they're doing like 16 hours in like household chores and other activities in different relatives house. And in this case, like Middle East, Saudi Arabia, this area is like very popular for women. That's because they need like this kind of service. So people, when they move from here to the Middle East, we found that many kind of this kind of trafficking case. And we also found like Lebanon and Jordan, this kind of Malaysia, Singapore, this kind of area. And sex trafficking is more happening in like very neighboring country like India and Nepal. This kind of areas, like there is many brothels in India. So you found some of the trafficking case from our like very close to border area. That kind of, from that kind of region, many girls also trafficked from that area, and like sell in the brothel of other countries like India and Nepal. This kind of things also happening.
Yeah, it makes sense. And my last mission, I was in Iraq, and actually, there was many men and women from Bangladesh. And I was kind of surprised to see that Iraq is not a country that you would expect people to migrate to. It's like it's also very it's a country where the conflict ended a few years ago, so you wouldn't imagine that. So it makes sense what you are saying. And also, in a country with such a high rate sometimes of like vulnerable area, vulnerable people are
Yeah.
really looking to like better opportunity. And it's so easy to fall into the wrong hands, where when you are really needy, you are really poor, and you are like so looking for a better opportunity. It's so easy to receive false hope from a person who want to exploit you. So the kind of project that you are overseeing are so important in vulnerable communities, to build a bit the awareness of the people, the authority, to work in collaboration with all these bodies to kind of create a net of safety and protection. Nasrul, what I wanted really to ask you today as well is a bit about the Rohingya camp situation. We have worked there together
Yeah.
for some months. I left in October 2018. Until when you have worked in Cox's Bazar?
uh, January 2020.
Okay, so at the beginning of, it's 1 year ago you left Cox's Bazar. So we are like the exodus of the Rohingya people, this Muslim minority from Myanmar who fled because persecution was abused by the Myanmar army. The exodus of these 70,000 Rohingya started in August 2017. They crossed the border to seek for protection and shelter in the neighboring country, which is Bangladesh. In an area of Bangladesh that till then was known to be like one of the most touristic area of Bangladesh, Cox's Bazar, no, like a very
Yeah.
famous Bangladesh for people who wants to go to this amazing beach, very nice natural environment, and so on. So we are about 3 years and a half since the Rohingya exodus from Myanmar. What is the situation a bit now in Bangladesh?
So Rohingya situation. So from many aspects we can discuss Rohingya situations. So one aspect is like, if you would like to know the overall. So if I start from the Bangladesh situation. So Bangladesh in general is still in a problem with the Rohingya issue, because the recent issue in the Myanmar, like Shuki Aung San Suu Kyi, she is arrested. So maybe the situation maybe change for the Rohingya partition from Bangladesh to Myanmar. I don't know what happened actually in future, but the reality is like the in Bangladesh Rohingya community is still in a big problem. Like government has a projects in Bashanchar. Few Rohingya people, they relocated from Cox's Bazar to Bashanchar, but most of them is still in Cox's Bazar. So their real situation when we started, I just started in like November 2017 with one organizations for Rohingya to support Rohingya communities. So in that time, that was like most of the hill was like very like empty. So that time also influx is going on. People are coming in different hill. Uh, they are like located. They are like located or the build their residence through the different humanitarian organizations. So right this moment, like that things already settled. There is no big influx now happening, or I haven't any information that people are coming still from the Myanmar. But I see, I know that many people still they haven't like hope. Many Rohingya people, they still would like to go back to the Myanmar, but many of them are not, because they didn't feel the security in Myanmar. So they have a confusion. They are like very confused what actually they will do. So sometimes, like when I work there, I talking with the Rohingya community and Rohingya people, they said that so here I'm at least safe. I know that no one come to me in Bangladesh to like directly shot on my head, or no one come here to rape my son, or just like pull out one girl from our community. So here we are safe. So that actually things happening. So they are like face the multiple problem Myanmar. So they are coming here, and now actually the situation is a little bit settled. But one thing is important, like from the influx, many organizations are working in Cox's Bazar now, day by day. The global community, that they are thinking like COVID pandemic, like COVID-19 is like very important. So global community are on the COVID-19 pandemic. So Rohingya issue now a little bit dark. Then there are many organizations, many government from the many countries, and many like donor organizations, they supported Rohingya very reduced many organizations, but still they are trying their best. And Bangladesh also help them to support Rohingya, get their meal, they get their clothes, and artists tool their educations, and their future is still blurred. And Bangladesh government, it's called FDMN, forcefully displaced Myanmar nationals. So actually, they are not the citizen of Bangladesh, and they even not like considered as a citizen of Myanmar. So that is the still. So it's a big crisis, big crisis, and nothing in a good solution. So still as a humanitarian organization, so as a humanitarian people, and the global community, from the leaders from different countries and UN, they should be more aware, or more action oriented to resolve this problem, I think.
Yeah,
And
it's,
this is like from
I
border
agree.
aspect. If you said from the production aspect, yeah.
No, I was about to say
Yeah.
that no, exactly what you said. Like the recent coup d'état in Myanmar with the military, with the army, like who took again the power and arrested Aung San Suu Kyi, is not a good news for the Rohingya minority, who have been prosecuted for years and years by the army, like a Muslim minority in the north of Myanmar, who hasn't been recognized never as a fully citizen of Myanmar, without documentation. So clearly not being recognized the fully citizenship, of course, like this entail a lot of like problem and trouble then in terms of accessing services, and receiving like education. But on top of that, they have, of course, organized their own resistance to the violence and the prosecution of the government, and the government has responded hard on them, with entire villages burned down, with thousands of people killed, with thousands of like women and children raped. And we know that Aung San Suu Kyi won the Nobel Prize for peace, thanks to her battle for democracy in Myanmar. But then there was a bit of like disappointment from the international community on her, because she didn't actually speak up for to advocate for the rights of the Rohingya minority, and she kind of like to preserve like the how to say what she has conquered in the past in terms of democracy. She decided to just how to say to not say anything against the military army, which is important to know that military army, they have 1/3 of the parliamentary chairs in the Myanmar parliament, so they are very important in terms. It's very important there still their support if you want to rule a country. So now the military took again the power and arrested Aung San Suu Kyi is definitely not a good news for the Rohingya. Nazrul, you mentioned that few Rohingya they have been transferred to another place. Is this place like the island that they were talking about when I was there? It's like there was this project of the government to kind of like build an island with all the services and things to actually give a shelter there to the Rohingya population and move them actually from the Cox's Bazar area. What is that the place that you were talking about, and what is the status of that project?
Yeah, actually for internet, I think if I'm not wrong, you would like to know that like the is that like island? So where they actually
Yes.
relocated from budget? Yes, yes, it is like island. So I think there is only one communication from that island is like only boat, speedboat, this kind of things. So from boat they can move one area to another. Like from one area to their island, so it's island it's not like separated from the it's separated from the community, but that is like totally government projects, and in that project everything is there. So many donor organization government also supported the Rohingya who actually relocated from Cox's Bazar to Bhasanchar. So from the media, what we get information that the actually the Rohingya community who relocated from Cox's Bazar to Bhasanchar, they said that like they are more happy. They never believed that they have a room like that, a good well furnished room, and their bathroom is so clean. Everything is like cement, and it's called pakka. And the media, the people who are talking in front of media, they said like, oh, now I really feel very good. Cox's Bazar was so congested, we are living in a like a makeshift and made with like tarpaulin and other things. It was too hard in during hard, and it was too cold in during winter. So it is like not like that way. It's like a good building. But one thing is like one thing is important, that like they can't actually move without boat or other things. So they will be confined in a area in the island. But I think it is possible if like any any support needed from them, they need to come to the city and other things. So there is a process with government how they will come for the better treatment and other things. But as I know that from the information from TV and media and a newspaper, that like there is many service now available there, and many service also going. Government has also the initiative to push down some push up some what it called like service from NGOs and government service to them who actually relocate from Cox's Bazar to Basanchar. So that is why actually when you are here in Bangladesh, you that times from that times government actually trying, but at last the people there are some like what I call like courage or the brave people. They are actually they would like to go there and they actually now there, and many people also now other people also would like to go there, but there is some dilemma. So some of the Rohingya people, I don't know what actually happened. I hear over here from my colleagues who are still working in Cox's Bazar that like many people who don't like to go there as because there is like what it called like information speeding spread many area of Cox's Bazar that this place is not like a good place. That would be like a jail and other things. So it's because they are like okay with Cox's Bazar, so they would like to take another risk to go to other area. That actually happened.
Yeah, I think, I mean, maybe the shelter may be perfect, you know, to have like an apartment there with everything furnished and all the services. But I have to say that might be, it's a bit controversial, no? It was controversial also from the very beginning when you
Yeah,
want to move people to an island. Because they are refugee and you don't want them to stay in a one area of the country and you want them to move to an island, and then of course like you're not have a fully freedom of movement from an island. So it's a bit, I have to say, controversial, and I can understand that there are backlash on this.
yeah.
Thank you very much, Nasrul. Is everything incredibly interesting also because I haven't I haven't fully read about Bangladesh in a while, so it's also very interesting to hear what is the situation there. Well, my last topic for today, Nasrul, will be, we have this pandemic event. We are incredibly focused on our country because it's not just like an emergency which is hitting a specific country, but is all around the world. Italy was heavily hit by the pandemic at the beginning. We are still in the process of like of like saving lives and trying to reduce the spread of this COVID-19 through the implementation of restrictive measures. Now, slowly and gradually, the vaccination campaign had started in Italy. There are a lot of like restrictive measures in place still. People are trying to go back to their normal life very slowly and gradually. It's still very difficult. A lot of people are still separated because you cannot fully travel all around Italy. So I would like to, and so what I was saying, we are very focused in our country and we don't know about the situation in other area of the world. What is, and when some people ask me sometimes, what is the situation in Bangladesh? What is it? And I say, I don't know, but like it's a country, especially in some area, which, there are area with a lot of like issues. So I think it's sometimes might be even more difficult for country like Bangladesh to counterattack, to respond to COVID. So what is a bit how do you live the situation there, and what is the situation?
Okay, so I give information from mine. Actually, I was victim or now I am a survivor of COVID-19. So
Okay, okay,
yeah, so I also affected in coronavirus.
okay. Now
Actually,
you're
when
okay. Now
I
you're negative now.
yeah, yes, I am negative.
Okay, I'm
Yes.
glad that you're
Okay.
okay.
So actually, what happening when I see there is nothing, I didn't have any smell in my nose. So I go to my bathroom and just air freshener in the bathroom, and I found that there is no smell. And then I think that okay, maybe I am just affected. So from my office, oh no, sorry, my wife office. So my wife office, when I inform them, So they send a medical assistant to collect the sample, and they collect the sample and say, okay, you are corona positive. The thing is that when I heard these things, I didn't feel like any weakness in my body, so I was a little bit confident that maybe I will not die. So actually, but the reality is, I just very like 5 or 10% know about that. Like I was infected, so corona positive. So somehow this is like spread out in many people. And the thing is that when I affected, I as because I am living in Dhaka with my wife and my brother, my mother, and my other family member. They are living in the another districts, like my native village. So I didn't give them any message that I was infected, but or I was COVID-19 positive. So if I give that message to them, that is a big problem. So here people are like what it called. People are like they are very feared actually what happening. Maybe the virus is like flying in the air. If I go out to the to the like outside of my home, then maybe I affected. So the people who have that money or capacity to live, they basically they are like most of them was in house. But the people who have like hand to mouth, they need to go out to like earn money to save their life, to like buy some foods and other things. They were in like outside of area, in Bangladesh. Like if I give you an statistics, like in 2020 till 31st December, it's around 513,000, like 513,000 people affected, and where 7,559 the people died. And in refugee community, so if you know the Cox's Bazar, till 3rd January 2021, 367 people affected, where 10 people are died. And in host community, around 5,407 people affected and 73 died. So if you see the Rohingya community, around more than 700,000 Rohingya people are living in the camp, and the camp are very close and congested. There is no way to ensure the physical distancing and other things. So in that area, only 10 people died. This is really a good news. So actually, what happened? So still the research is going on about the strain and type of the virus. But in Bangladesh, many people, many slums also here in Bangladesh, like capital city, many slums, people are very congested living. There is no way, there is no way to ensure physical distancing and other like awareness things they actually need to maintain, but there is no way. So still the corona, maybe the strain, maybe the type was very normal. I don't know for Bangladesh, but the people are coming from Italy, people are coming from China here. So the same virus, maybe they bear from the affected area, like from China or other things. But here in Bangladesh, I think the situation was very good. And actually, in Bangladesh, it's this actually this disease is for the rich people, not for the poor people, because poor people always under the sun. They have huge vitamin D in their body. Their immunity system is very strong. So this is like they are not living in the under AC like air conditioner. They are always under sun. They are always like their physical labor is always happening. They are doing their exercise through their physical labor and other things. So many people here in Bangladesh says like it's not for the poor people, it's for the rich people. That actually happening. But in March, in April, March, and May, this time in Dhaka city was like very like people are very what it called like moving was very close, and no, many people are not moving from home to the outside. And the lawyers and enforcement department was very active. The shop was closed, and other things is happening. So in the Dhaka city, the entry level was restricted by the police and other things. So actually that time that was there also everywhere. But now I think the situation is like they overcome the corona situation here in Bangladesh. So like last one.
I think we lost you, Nasrul. There is a bit of internet connection problem. Let's try
Another
to see.
situation is like fine.
Go ahead. Now I can hear you.
Yeah. So I said like now the situation is like fine. The people are still our off in many office in Bangladesh. They're like no marks, no acts, no marks, no service. This kind of things. But you found here and there many people they are not wearing still masks and they are not maintaining their physical distance. So and that as because the report also very low are like infected and death rate also Bangladesh is very lower. So people actually uh, a little bit like there is no corona now in Bangladesh. This kind of like attitude happening here and there, and social gathering, different kind of program is like now everyone is like going to arrange.
So in Dhaka, you are free to go wherever you want.
Yeah, in Dhaka, where?
In Dhaka, you are free to move. You are free to go wherever you want. You can actually go. I don't know,
Yes.
out. You can visit your parents, your
Yes.
relatives. You can go around freely wherever you want.
Yeah. Yeah. Everywhere. Everywhere.
Okay, the government is not
Everywhere.
like imposing. The government is not imposing restrictive measure and lockdown. No.
No lockdown here is so government is not posing any lockdown now. So government only posing like ensure physical distancing and wearing masks.
Yeah,
These two
like
things.
like motivating people to be aware of the risk of like spreading and to
Yes.
like to raise the awareness and to advise on using like washing hands
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
very often, like using the mask and everything. Nasrul, thank you very much. Was really interesting. I covered all the topics that I wanted to ask to you. Do you have any upcoming the Bangladesh, or how long you gonna stay in Dhaka now?
Sorry. Can you repeat? How long?
Yes, of course. How long you gonna stay in Dhaka now, or do you have any upcoming trip? Yeah. Okay. Maybe we should just like end here the live because the internet connection is not really good on Nasrul's side. I want to thank you all the ones who have watched with us this edition of this further brief interview with Nasrul from Bangladesh. He updated with us on the like internal situation, the situation of the Rohingya refugee, and how Bangladesh is responding to COVID. So we thank Nazrul Islam, and we talk to in a few days